start Game 5. Our streaming match for Game 5 will be Phil Assen versus Brian Mishke. Phil is 4-0. Brian, I think, is 3-1, with his only loss being to Johnny Chu.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks like there's three guys who are 4-0
yeah,
at
our
this
4
point.
O's are Matt Sokol, Phil Asen, and Ryan Saracen, I believe, are the three undefeateds as of right now. Welcome
Yep,
back.
they posted the standings after game 4 in the forums. So
Cool. Yeah, we got our pizza delivered a few minutes ago, and everyone was chowing down on that. So everyone is now got full tummies, and we are good. So I think our top player is going to be Phil, and he is playing Dark Side, if I remember correctly.
yep, we got three guys at 4-0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and five guys at 3-1. And don't forget to start recording again.
Yeah, I'm actually hitting that button right now. Thank you, sir. So yeah, we are started the recording. Streams going all day. And so we've got Brian Mishke playing Light Side. I think he's playing Throne Room. And I believe Phil is playing a similar EOPS deck that we saw Joe Olson play earlier.
That would not surprise me at all. Those guys pretty much deck build everything together. So
All right, so yeah, we have Throne Room, and so Phil is going to start Endor Shield according to my design. Hi, Brian Fred. Combat response, Kuat Drive Yards. So he's going to start the Emperor, presumably at the bunker or the docking bay. I would guess the
I would
docking
think
bay for the
I,
mob points activation.
I would say the bunker actually
Oh, really?
for
For the
so we can deploy
established
ominous
secret
and
base?
establish. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll give you guys Chew next game if we can. Okay. I was basically trying to save some of those guys towards the end once we know that those games are going to be determining top eights. And also, we had a guy like Ryan who started out 3-0, who's never been to a major, so I thought it'd be pretty cool to get him on the stream. Now we had Mike. We had one game with Chew. Chew's Dark Deal deck was on stream day one. I definitely had
Yep.
Chew day one.
That was
I
game 3 against Ross because I remember
Yes,
watching it and saying that Johnny actually should have won that game
because he
by
forgot to
one,
grab
but
a card. He forgot to grab a card and he lost that game. Yeah.
there was actually something else that happened in that game too where they miscounted something by one.
Oh, okay. But I do remember if he would have grabbed a card, he would have won.
Yes, if he would have grabbed the card, he definitely would have won. But there was something else that happened too that Johnny misplayed.
So yeah, we did have Johnny on there.
Hmm.
Good call, Mike. I appreciate your honesty there. We will do our best to get Johnny Chu. He's obviously, a 3-1 right now. We could have had him. I think his matchup was a good one this time, but um, you know, we went with Phil and Ryan, which is a good matchup. So
Look, look, man. If you're gonna throw out big words that nobody else knows, then I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
yeah, well, like I said, I'll do my best to get Johnny on for. I know you KTOD guys are hanging out with us on chat. Maybe we'll get Tim on the next game. So you only have Chew on when he misplays. Well, I mean, I guess. Chew doesn't make very many misplays, so you guys do great work, but we need to be better. All right, well, we'll work on it for you, Justin and Mike. Uh, Maybe if you guys would have rolled three deep, we could have had you. Where's Steve? Where's Justin? Where's Mike? Come on, guys. Don't just send Johnny all by his lonesome.
He's even wearing your sweatshirt.
Yeah, he is wearing the KTOD shirt today. So, all right. So looks like we're about to get started here. We'll see how Brian's throne room gets off to a start. I'm pretty sure I saw a Jedi Council Chamber puller in his starting hand. So yeah, you're right. He did put the Emperor at the bunker for the ominous slash established secret base stuff. Yeah, and you get an extra icon from the Emperor, but getting one more from mob points. I guess yeah, because he isn't starting the mob points since he's running the Endor shield because it's throne room. So yeah,
Right.
that's why you would go to the docking bay is if you're starting mob points. If you're not doing that, oh, so now Mike Gem is insinuating that he's using Google glasses to give Johnny Chu advice. I don't think Johnny Chu needs your advice during games. I think he's all right. We'd really just want to see the destruction of Joe on stream. Okay, we had Joe on stream earlier. He did all right. He won by one over Beefred. We'll get Joe on the stream tomorrow when it's even more painful to see when he loses. All right,
Let's see
so
who we.
Mishki's gonna activate. I think he's getting one, two, three, four, with the Endor shield being out. He got the Boss Nash Chambers in hand. He's gonna pull the JCC. Dang, that's a good start for
Well, that'll
Mishki.
put him in a. Yeah, that'll put him in a good spot. Normally, if you got a slower start and was just pulling docking bays, Endor Ops would certainly have a good advantage. But if
He's got both of his pullable locations out first turn, and he's got the docking bay. So, like,
Mhm.
that's an extra six icons he just gave himself. So, pretty strong start for Brian. We'll see if there's anything else he's going to do with his first turn. So, I'm pretty sure the other starting effect besides Insurrection Aim High and Walkling is that the Farm Puller, or is that the Like My Father Before Me? It's kind of hard to tell what that
that's
card is.
it's like my father.
Okay. He's got a Rescue in the Clouds as well in his starting hand.
Yeah, it's a pretty great start there for Brian.
Yeah, I mean, giving himself those icons, getting the Rescue in the Clouds in your start makes makes that first turn feel real good.
Hmm.
So I mean, now he's activating next turn. One, two, three, four, seven, eight, nine. He's activating like 10, and he didn't have to work that hard to get there. So we anticipate Phil playing pretty similar to Joe Olsen, where he'll pull Mustafar, use Mustafar to pull the castle, set up ominous rumors. So he's gonna go in control phase and pull one of those effects with the objective. I see established secret base in there, but we'll see if ominous is usually the one you want to get out first. And looks like the Mustafar and the castle are both in there, so we'll see those all come out. Just trying to get a look at his deck. Looks pretty similar to Joe's with the dark maneuvers, the Boba Fett
I would
ship.
I would think they're card for card identical.
Yeah, so maybe one or two cards different for personal preference, but he's gonna use the Emperor to pull that. Use the So I don't think he's gonna get ominous out this first turn, but he is gonna get the Mustafar and the Vader's castle out. So he's got a Force Lightning in case a spy or a Jar Jar comes down against the Emperor. So yeah, as far as we saw with Joe's deck, the established secret base wasn't being used to pull any Endor sites. It was just really there for flipping the objective.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is on the table. Is that a security precautions? That is a security precautions. Virtual, I believe, from Phil. He's put that on the docking bay to give himself one extra force. It's a good card if you. I would imagine this deck might have a hard time against hidden base. So maybe that's in there for the hidden base matchup. So we got a P59 in Phil's hand. Trying to see what else I could see in there.
Looks like Ozzel on top, and
So yeah, he's got Ozzel, P59. Ozzel's joining the Emperor. And he's just going to draw. Alright, so now we'll see Brian take his second turn. See what he's got to respond to.
he's got 11 force on turn 2. He can kind of go do whatever he wants.
Right. We'll see what his hand will allow him to do. He's going to use docking bay pull search. Might not have a docking bay. It's the first thing that kind of goes wrong for Brian with this deck so far. Yeah, looks like Phil's getting a verify. They're tracking us. Run, Luke, run. Impressive, most impressive. Battle planes. Odin Nesler combo. Sense. Oh, he's got the Cloud City site, the 2-1 Cloud City site where your characters with lightsabers are power +2.
Oh,
That's a cool site for. So he has the battle planes and that site. That's very
yeah.
interesting. So it's two battleground sites.
To answer your question, Barbecue, it's probably the mob points combo. That's what we saw Joe start earlier, and they're probably running the same deck.
Yeah. We saw. He also, I think he has Imperial Decree in his hand, so he could also start that in games against like Prophet or WAP. Yeah, I would guess it would be the mob points combo from Phil if it wasn't playing against TRM this round.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Luke
Yep.
to the Endor site and the lightsaber.
That's not surprising at all.
Not particularly, but we know from seeing Joe Olson's deck that this dark side deck runs like I Am Your Father and Vaders and Mauls, and
Mm-hmm.
so. And Mishki's just going to draw after putting the Luke out. I'm sure he'll use the Luke effect to put one of those cards back and give himself one more. If he has a card he doesn't mind getting rid of. The effect on the docking bay is security precautions. And I believe it's virtual security precautions. But it's at least sec prec of some kind. So it's one extra force for Phil with that card, and then in the hidden base matchup, if you have the non-virtual, you can cause them some direct damage when you probe, and with the virtual one, it affects their weapons, and uh, they can't use certain interrupts or something like that. Definitely kind of keys off of the weapon versions of hidden base. we got a slave one in Phil's hand. I seen that. So yeah, Phil, after seeing the sense in Brian's deck, pulled the sense shield, the do or do not shield,
Smart
or
move.
there is no try, whichever one that one is. And then Brian also put out wise advice. So if he has any immediate effects, they'll play for free, and then if his own cards get canceled with sense or alter, they'll go used. But did we see any sense or alters from Joe's deck? I'm not quite sure that we did.
I don't think so.
Just gonna squadron assignments or combat response Boba Fett to get the slave one, or vice versa. So that'll go up to Endor or Mustafar. He still doesn't have ominous rumors out, right? And that's a control phase search. So wonder where that card is.
Could be
Oh,
buried
it's.
at the
I think
bottom of
it's.
his
I
force
think it's in
pile,
his
or
hand. I think I just saw it in his hand.
I just hasn't put it out yet.
Yeah. It does cost 2 force to put out, so it can be kind of uh, awkward to put it out. Yeah, there's the ominous rumors. Yeah, it's a pay 2 to put it out. And then I imagine he might move the Ozzel over and have the Ozzel take the second pilot spot and then fly on up to Endor.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves the Emperor all alone, so I mean you could be susceptible to a Corran Horn or a Jar Jar or a Jin Urso
I'm,
kind
sh-
of thing.
I'm sure he's got a force lightning in there
Oh,
somewhere.
he's actually got Thrawn, so Ozzel can stay. So he's just going to put Thrawn on the slave one instead, and Ozzel can hang out with the Emperor to keep that site a little more secure.
Then why did they go with the docking bay?
Yeah, good call. I don't know what the difference with that would be, because then you had to.
If you're not going to move Hazel over, then why
Yeah,
deploy him to the docking bay
he
and risk
ended
him
up
getting
having
buried?
he ended up having to pay one to move it up too, right? Or is it fly?
No, it
It takes
takes.
off for free, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he just wasn't sure if he was gonna put Thrawn out or not. But yeah, that is a little strange.
He changed his mind mid-turn.
Yep, I've been known to make that mistake once or twice, where you see the better play after you make the bad play. Brian pulls his other docking bay that he didn't find last turn, but with Phil putting out the battle order, didn't pay to drain. Just went ahead and bypassed that. So we got to see what Brian has planned this turn. Okay, actually, yeah, Nick in the chat has a good point. He couldn't play the ominous rumors until he made it light side not control the docking bay. So that's why he
That makes
had to do it that way. Thanks, Nick,
that
for
makes
pointing that
sense.
out. Because yeah, that allowed him to flip. And yeah, good call. Thanks for pointing that out, guys. There's the Tantive from hand. And then I imagine he's got a pilot or two for that. So it's going to add a icon. It's Hera Syndulla, I believe, is the pilot aboard there. And maybe we'll see one other pilot.
Yep, it was her.
Is that... I couldn't quite see who that last pilot was. It Ray? He's picking up his use pile, so I'm pretty sure it's Ray.
He paid.
He paid 4, and now he's looking through his use pile, so I think the only card it could be is Ray.
Yeah.
It's a short-titled light side character, so I would imagine it's Ray. So Ray and Hera on the Tantive there. We don't have the Admiral's Order yet from Phil, so we won't be able to do, because that's, we saw Joe abuse the Black Sun Fleet Admiral's Order by moving his ships around in the control phase and blowing out the Tantive against Brian Fred, but we don't have the Admiral's Order out yet from Phil. That's a rescue in the clouds. Put your slips in right, people. At least they're not black and white, though.
This is true. It's true. Maybe it was a black and white slip, and that's why he just threw them in kind of
Yeah. He
haphazardly.
found a new one this morning and shoved it in there. All right. Yeah, Ming, definitely sloppy slip work. If you've watched the last game, though, Dennis Reinhardt has some work to do on his slips. He has black and white full template V's. Ugh. All right, so now we'll see what Phil has in mind for this turn. I see the Blizzard 4 in his hand, and he also has a P59, and he's got Vader's lightsaber and then a few red cards. So he could maybe use the Vader's castle game text to like deploy Vader there, put the Blizzard 4 out, and then move Vader over or something in front of Luke. But I don't see enough in his hand to battle Luke this turn. I guess it depends on what he could pull with Blizzard 4. All right, Phil, what you got? He's got Decree, Vader's lightsaber, Blizzard 4, and P59, and two other red cards that I can't quite make out. Maybe a command or a spin or something like that. So he's paying 3 to drain at the Endor system for 2. He's going to lose off the top a Sense and a Wisa. Force Lightning, targeting Ozzel.
Just typical cycling cards back, so you free up hand space to draw new ones.
Yep. He draws another Force Lightning with the Emperor's game text. Uses Quat Drive Yards to get out the Rendili system. I imagine we'll probably just see Phil pick up a few cards here. I don't really think he's going to put out the Blizzard 4 or the P59 against Luke. But we'll see.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much to work with there. I mean,
So you
he's
might
got
get something
parts
with
of
the
stuff.
Blizzard 4, but yeah, you know, depending on how much force you have, it might just be worth it just to draw a few and then eat the uh, eat the drain for a turn, and then see what you can come back with next turn.
Mm-hmm. It's early. He's got time. There's a few cards he can afford to
Yeah,
lose,
he just only
and
has a 5 card hand, like so.
yeah.
He's gonna pay 1 to move in front of the Tantive.
Hmm.
And he draws an Emperor Shuttle and a Saber 1 and another card that I couldn't quite see. So he did get a couple more spaceships, which is probably what he was kind of wanting to get. If he wants to, he's got 3 systems, so he can kind of spread out and get the ominous rumors damage going. But Brian is activating a ton with this throne room deck, so we'll see what he's got to respond to the
I think
play
he's getting
there.
15 now.
And he had at least a couple saved, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Fet, who obviously goes to fishes out a card for you, and Thrawn, so he can command to limit, but at the same point in time, he can also get seriously outpowered if Brian has a second ship.
Yep. Lost off the top a Image of the Dark Lord. Destiny 6 card he probably wanted to have. But I think he lost the other card was Decree to the Force Chain. So Brian's got another pilot. It's Solo. And looks like he might have one more pilot. Lando. Screamin' Lando. So he should get a Destiny from Lando, a Destiny from Han, a Destiny for ability. And then
And it was Hera
and
too,
then
right?
Hera. So yeah, because he's against an Imperial. So Phil is really in a tight spot unless he has the command.
He can go get it with Fet. At least he
That's
can
true.
exchange
He
for it.
can exchange a card with.
But the question is how many of them does he run, and then it's going to get grabbed, and then what does he do from there?
That's true. Also, you can. Someone in the chat mentioned you can use Solo to play the Sense from Lost Pile. And oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
EOPS does limit.
EOPS does limit the battle destinies, so he is flipped. So yeah, I guess that doesn't really matter in this matchup. That is another ship. Is that the Profundity?
Yes, it is.
So he's just gonna since he's not gonna get his battle destinies, he's just gonna have to go for the outpower method.
He will battle, and Phil will go exchange.
So yes, we know Phil doesn't have to use command here since he already is limited, unless he wants to add destinies of his own. He
He
could
could do
also
that
be
too to try
going
and clear.
for the short range fighters combo to use to substitute a destiny. Yeah, Phil can
Mm.
add destinies, but we'll see if he has the command. Because he's already getting two destinies, right? One from Boba
Yes.
Fett being with the Imperial. Sense. Yep, that'll work. He will have to lose two for the sense, though. And the sense. So, I guess we don't know what card he's. I guess it was command. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was trying to use command to add, and then Brian, I believe, used solo. Did he use solo to sense it, or did he just
I
sense it
think he
from
just had a
hand?
sense.
Yeah. Now he's got two of those. So then Phil draws a 6 and a 1. He's going to use prepared defenses to add 1 to the 1. So he's got a total of 7. I didn't see what Brian drew, if he drew it yet.
Brian drew something pretty high. I think it was a 6.
Okay. Ray would add 1 to the total. Okay, so I mean we haven't seen anybody forfeit. He's forfeiting the profundity now. All right. Yeah, it could be that he forgot about the EOPS limiting his destinies because he definitely went with cards that added destinies in space. Like Lando doesn't
Hmm.
really do all that much except add a destiny in space and is worth 7 forfeit, I guess, because he doesn't really add
Right.
anything to the power. Looks like Thrawn is the one that's going to be forfeited because he did break the immunity of the slave one. Ye- Um, difficult to say. Mishki had a really good start, but Phil did just draw into I think like 3 spaceships, and so we could see some. I think,
Counter beats.
yeah, I think Phil's in a good spot. Honestly, I think this could go either way. So like Brian just committed a lot of resources to space. He had like 4 characters on that ship or 5 characters on those 2 ships, and he lost a ship and a character in that battle.
Yes,
So,
Brian is spelled with a Y, but we don't criticize Jerry for his
oh
misspellings.
shoot, yeah, whatever. Chris Gogolin is with me on the stream today. Yes. Hayes says hi. What's up, Chris?
What's up, buddy?
Gogolin says, "What's up, buddy?" I got the headset on so they can't hear
No worries.
you. Otherwise, everybody who is watching would be able to hear like a crazy reverb because they'd hear your audio coming out of the speakers and then it'd also get captured by my microphone. So
Oh
that's why
yeah,
we
that
have
would
to
be a
do it.
disaster.
That's why we have to do it this way.
That would be a disaster.
So yeah, Brian's staying at that system. I think we're gonna see Baron, and then we could even see the Emperor shuttle come to the system. And since Brian is limited to 1 draw, but Phil isn't, it could be a little scary
Hmm.
here.
Yep. It looks like he's going for Baron.
He definitely squadron assignments Baron, but I think he's deciding where he wants to go with it. I mean, if you're fighting, then you go there, but it looks like he's not fighting.
Why wouldn't he fight?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe he has a P.
Now, the downside to that is, of course, Lando is still there. He could have retrieved the profundity,
True.
but
Oh, so he still has Lando there. I thought he lost Lando and the profundity, but it must have just been the profundity.
yeah, I would think he
Because
would
yeah,
just
he
commit a
can.
couple of ships and go for broke and just try and clear out the Tantive and a bunch of those guys on it.
Maybe his hand isn't quite right for that, but I mean, you put Baron there. There's 2 destiny.
It'd be
Be
three and
three,
add
yeah,
one to the
because
total.
yeah, 3, and adding 1 to the total battle destiny. Yeah, so like he put Baron at Rendili. Uh-huh. 7 for Mustafar. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. With the
slave one could move,
Slave
but
1 can
the
move,
Tantive,
but the Tantive can't move to Rendili, nor can the Saber 1 can't move over to Mustafar though. That's too far
right?
of a jump for it.
They're they're both stuck where they are.
Yep. So yeah, the Tantive can at least move to Endor though. It would cost 2,
Well,
but
yes, that's true. They can move back and forth between Endor all they want.
yeah. Yeah. Or put Baron at Mustafar and just fight him because he could have had 3 battle destinies and he's. Hmm. No, he can't. Yeah. So he has 1 more ship in hand, but it's the
Yeah, it looks
Emperor
like
shuttle.
it's the shuttle, right? Yeah,
So like he would have to like you know Emperor is at the bunker protecting the ESB. We got Ozzel there too, but like so looks like he's putting the Royal Guard Min Kano on the ship. Did he use Min's game text to play a defensive shield? I don't think he did. Phil's playing too fast. Because he should have got a. Unless it's Kirkanos. It could be Kirkanos, but I think it's Min.
I think most people play Min.
Kirkanos is really good too, though. He's got some wicked game text.
He's got to be with an Imperial to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, true.
Oh, and now he's going to put weapons display, and now he'll retrieve the profundity with that.
Okay. Since he moved away, he's able.
Is that Sokol?
Yeah. Gogolin says hi. He gives you the old salute nod. He's having a good day so far,
Did
Sokol.
Matt did Matt win? Is he 5-0?
He looks like he lost that game just from his. Did Sokol win or lose? He won? Oh. I thought he said he lost. Okay, so Hayes is telling me that Sokol won. So Sokol is 5 and 0.
Soko, you were
So,
communicating that you won, correct? Again, that's what I'm like. How did you get this impression that he lost?
I mean, I know Matt plays fast, win or lose, so you never know with him.
He looked a little dejected. That's all. That's the only reason why
Soko says he always looks.
he looked a little dejected. So I thought maybe he came back. Like oh bomb. He said something about paying +2, and I was like oh maybe he forgot something and got blown out. But
No, he misplayed something, but went to his opponent's advantage. Or
okay,
his own advantage.
okay. So yeah, Sokol is 5 and 0 for those listening. Okay, so now Chewy is joining Luke. Help.
Well, hey, I mean, if you're going to retire, going 8-0 is a good way to.
Yeah.
It's a much better way to go out than like 3-5 or whatever.
Yeah, it's still kind of surprising. In his first tournament post-retirement, he's 5 and 0.
He should have retired years ago. If he
He
was
should
going
have
to play this good.
retired years ago. Should have retired right after he won Worlds in 2000 or whatever. Sokol's playing map, and I don't know what he's playing for light side. But he's playing map blasters for dark. We'll try to get him on stream. Although the way he's going, he'll definitely be on tomorrow if he's 5 and 0. I mean, 5 wins probably gets you in, and I think maybe there'll be some SOS issues. But if you're starting out 5 and 0, your SOS should be pretty high.
Yeah, definitely. Because at this point in time, he's only going to play other top players, and considering he had early games against Johnny Chu
and I think he also played Lenny or someone else in the top-ish sphere. So.
right, and he just had a game against Ryan, who was 4-0, so that already,
Yeah.
boosts his standing there too.
So that would be Ryan's first loss.
Mm-hmm.
So did he just shuttle Ray down to the Mustafar castle from the Tantive?
Looks like he did.
Okay, so now Ray's there.
He's just going to try and maximize his drain potential for a little while.
He's got a drain of 2 at the docking bay, a drain of 2 at the system, or is it just a 1 at the system?
No, it's only one at the
Yeah.
system. We figured that out last
That's
game.
right, because you have to have Padme out to make it a 2, right? And then 2 at the castle.
Yep.
We've seen this Endor deck from Joe Olson and Phil. So, I mean, they're on the same team, though. So, it seems interesting. It seems like it's trying to do a lot. It's got, like, matching sabers. It's got matching ship, or at least Vader saber. Well, it's got Vader saber and I am your father and stuff. At least we saw that from Joe's deck.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Oh, no, we saw that out of Joe's deck, though. And this deck is pretty similar.
Yeah, but
So.
he didn't see that.
Oh, I get
He's
what you're
scouting.
I get what you're yeah. He's already gone. He's all right. If anybody really wants to scout, you can always watch the stream after, you can go back and watch it in between rounds. But I think most of this is all common knowledge at this point, what people are playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a drain of 2 at Mustafar unless Vader is on the table. Yeah, Vader isn't on the table, so maybe it is a drain of 2.
all of these new set cards.
right? Like I told everyone in the Slack chat to not play set 10 cards, so that way I wouldn't have to look up stuff.
While Vader on table, unless Amidala at a Mustafar location for strain -1. Okay. So Vader's got to be out first, and then they have to respond with Padme.
I did see that to answer your question, Dan. I did see Clayton was playing an old Allies deck that had like all of the speeders. It had like Rogue One, Rogue Two, Dash, and Rogue 10. So I imagine he might be playing the your new virtual card, the Ski Speeder from uh, set 10. But I did not see that for sure. Yeah, but there is a couple of speeders decks that I have seen, so there could be at least one EBO I've seen, and the EOP speeders could be playing the.
And Clayton unfortunately started off 1-3, so his goal of reminding everybody who he was is coming up a little short so far.
That is true. That is true. But maybe he'll finish 5-3 and claw his way back up.
He certainly could.
As we know, at least a couple 5-3s will make the cut here.
Yeah, there's usually at least 2 every year that make it, and with 28 players, that number sounds about right. Possibly 3, depending on how the later
games go.
Pair-ups
if
and
it turns
matchups go.
into a bloodbath where everyone's knocking each other out, or if guys like
Yeah.
Phil and oh, here we go, Vader to the castle to go kill Rey with "I am your father" too. So now he can swing the lightsaber. Ooh, Dr. E combo. All right, here we go, Phil. That's a battle, pretty sure. So if you hit here, do you operate or you just go for the overflow?
You go for the overflow. Dr. E is just there to soak up forfeit.
Yep.
In case he draws a 5.
And that's going to be lose 1 to "I am your father," right? For hitting.
Yep.
You didn't see him do that. He did not lose a force to that.
Oh, I guess Phil didn't point it out. Oh, and he drew a 6 anyway, so it's still gonna have Vader's still gonna have to die.
Oof. I mean, with Ray adding 1 to the total, that does make it a lot more. It looks like he played a Hujix, so.
Looks like it's 14 to 11 should be the total there. So
Hujix saves 3. Dr. Evison is there by himself, though. So that, now, Brian would need a spy or, a Jar Jar kind of thing to go attack that.
Mm-hmm.
But Throne Room does play, can be known to play Cornhorn, Jyn Erso, R2D2V, stuff like that, so.
Yeah, Dr. E combo, he's 6 power, gets a Destiny by himself. It's not really, in too much danger there.
Yeah, but like EPP, OB plus Cornhorn could be pretty scary.
It could.
Or Qui-Gon, someone like that, yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
Especially because if you put somebody with a lightsaber there, then the power from Dr. Evison gets cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if Brian can respond to that. If there was a Nabram, Tom, it would be during the move phase because Lightside does have Insurrection aim high. So it wouldn't be a Nabram beat. It could be a Nabram in the move phase, but I don't think you would play a Nabram if you're starting Insurrection. Ghost Train, is that you, Jan? Why aren't you here? I don't think I've been to a Star Wars tournament in like 8 years without you, Jan.
Yeah, we have the other Jan there. I'm sorry, Jan.
Yeah, he's Jan. But
oh, Jyn and a second Rey, and he's gonna go fishing.
Jyn and Rey. But still, if it would have been an EPP OB and Jyn, I feel like that's more beatdown potential because we saw Phil draw the Gick during that battle, so we know he's presumably Gickless.
Yep, and he doesn't have a force for like a masterful move or anything either, so.
Yep. So this could be
He's going to rescue now and see what he can find. If he can find another character.
Could be tough on Phil, but with no weapon there, like I said, no lightsaber, he still has 3 more power and presumably won't be forfeit 0.
Yep. What did Brian take?
This is a reserve deck verify. Maybe he's just looking for something with Endor shield, or looking for, I don't know what you could be looking for with, maybe searching for an Endor site with established secret base, something like that, just to shuffle up some of the high destiny cards that maybe he knew were at the bottom up to the top. Okay, so Jan says he's saving the points for Euro Worlds instead, so sort of similar to what you're doing, Gogolin. Saving up the time and the money for. Oh, hey, there's Padme at a Mustafar site. We have achieved the conditions of the Mustafar system.
There you go.
All right, so we got Padme, Rey, and Jin.
He almost put Leia Rebel Princess there, which would have been disastrous.
Yeah, Leia Rebel Princess would not be good because it would just make Dr. Evison disappear. So it looks like he draws a 3 on dark side. I think we saw it was the Profundity, which is a Destiny 1 for light.
Yeah.
So it could have been.
Dr. E should cover then.
Yeah, Dr. E covers, and then he has to
15
lose Jin
total.
Urso. Yep. And then once Jin Urso gets lost, you can peek at the dark side's hand, which I think we saw him lay the hand down.
Yep. Tarkin Blizzard for the Emperor Shuttle and P-59.
Yeah, we knew he had the Emperor Shuttle and the P-59, so it makes sense. All right, so that's and now he's got Padme there, so he's not going to want to
at
put
the castle.
not
So
going
that's
to want to
drained
put
two.
not going to want to put Vader, down against Padme
Yeah.
when he immediately gets his game text canceled.
You don't want to use the site to pull Vader because he's going to go right there. Yeah, unless you're going to move him away.
Right. And I think we've got 4 strains coming. Pay 3 to drain for 3 at Rendili.
Yep. That battle could have gone a lot worse for Phil. Luckily, like you said, no weapon.
Yeah, if there was an EPP OB plus the Jin or so, then it's like you swing, you hit those guys. They're power 3, forfeit 0, and then, he only drew. He only ended up drawing a 1 for Destiny, but he would have drawn that for a lightsaber swing instead. So you never know what he could have drawn for Battle Destiny there. And like I said, we knew Phil didn't have his Git because he drew it for Destiny the battle before. So
Yep.
could have been, game changing, but just ended up being sort of, satisfactory for light side.
Mm-hmm.
Because those guys aren't even stranded at the castle. They can always slurp back up if they have to.
And they can drain for 2 while they're there. So
It's not a battleground, so that's a little weird, but and you have to wonder if Phil's going to be able to contest that Mustafar system. He's got the slave one with Boba Fett.
yeah.
On
Phil
it.
didn't seem like he was overly interested in that. He deliberately kind of set up his ships and moved away, figuring he was just going to ignore the Tantive and just kind of try to outrace it.
Yeah, and we know that that Baron can't move. Like that Baron on Saber 1,
Right.
parsec-wise, he's stuck there.
Yeah. Baron's going to sit there and drain for 3 all game because there aren't enough battlegrounds to cover Ultimatum. So
Yeah, and we know that Brian can't move the Tantive in front of the Saber, so because parsec-wise, he can move back to Endor, but not.
Right, but he doesn't exactly want to move to Endor.
Looks like Phil's going to pay the 3 to drain for 2 at Endor. You wonder what Phil's got working for the ground now. He's got a Tarkin and a P-59 and a Blizzard 4. He's going to put Tarkin in space on the Slave 1, and he's going to move that in front of the Tantive.
Okay.
And
So looks like Phil realized he's kind of fallen behind in the race now.
Yep. Well, just having to pay for his drains is tough, you know.
Yes.
Because like Lightside has the only battleground site locked down, and we know that Brian's got two other battleground sites. He's got the Battle Plains and the Cloud City Lower Corridor in his deck, but I don't think he's in any hurry to put those out.
No.
He's already got enough force, and he doesn't want to give Darkseid any place to go to.
Absolutely. He doesn't put any battleground sites to give them a chance to get around battle order.
Yep.
He's very content with the status quo right now. He's draining for 4 for free, and his opponent is paying to drain for 3 at this point. So
And in chat, someone noted that he did draw into Black Sun Fleet, which I see that in his hand. So that could help next turn if he can like cover up. You can cover up the drain during the other turn and then move and drain, things like that. But it might have been too late to get the Black Sun Fleet. Like if you could have had that earlier, could have had a bigger impact.
all right, we got Leia as a passenger.
It's Leia Rebel Princess, right?
Yep.
So she soaks up 7 forfeit, I believe.
She's pretty good for that. And I think where she's situated,
Okay.
if he needed to, he could technically cancel his own force drain.
And it looks like he shuttled Padme up to the
So now get a
Tantive
destiny to attrition.
because she's with Leia, right?
Uh-huh. Looking for a force lightning, I guess.
Probably. Either Force Lightning or he can always search for a Endor site with Established Secret Base. Yeah, this is going to be tough for Phil, I think. Because like we just kind of said with when we were watching Joe Olson's game with this very similar deck, look how many cards he's got on the table. Like,
Mm-hmm. He does have a handful more cards than Brian does, and Brian is causing more damage each turn than Phil is.
he's also doing it for free. Like, he's not having to pay to drain, which
Yep.
is huge. Brian's going to play a Wisa to get a Battle Plains, but he will be unsuccessful. He does have that 0 floating in there, the lower corridor. That's tough. Having that 0 floating there.
Yep. And another Luke Saber as well, so he's got a 0-1 still floating around in those 6 cards.
Yeah, there
7
was
cards.
the rest of them were all good destinies. At least they looked like red cards, and red cards usually are pretty good.
Yeah, but if light side's limited to 1 from the objective, and the only
Yep.
one they draw is the 0 or Luke's light.
0, yeah. Looks like he's just going to draw. He's going to stay at the system rather than move over to Endor.
Yeah, Brian doesn't need to move away. Phil's got to commit something else.
Yeah, I remember seeing in Joe Olson's deck a lateral damage. I wonder if that's something we might see. That could be a way for Phil to crack this Tantive nut.
Certainly possible. There's, you got 21 and forfeit between Leia, Lando, and Padme, none of whom are adding any to the power of the ship, so that's kind of a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. He's paying 3 to initiate the force drain at the Randalia system, which is a drain of 3. Cornhorn. Lando. And Bith Shuffle combo. That's the only drain that Phil can do.
Check his destinies, and again, he's got a character in there, so not great.
So he does put out the Black Sun fleet. Now he goes with the P-59. So he might be trying to shoot Ray with P-59, cause a couple force loss there.
It's certainly a possibility.
We saw his reserve deck, and it wasn't fantastic. We saw at least one character in there. But looks like he just drew. He just covered it up. So Phil is in cover up mode. He's still going to end up getting drained for 2 at the docking bay.
Well, he made a step and he turned it around a little bit. Now it's him draining for 3 and his opponent only draining for 2.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he is susceptible to a counter beat with that P-59 if Mishki has
Of his characters have already been committed to the table, but we can't quite see Brian's hand either to know how many characters he does, how many cards he has,
yeah.
and what he's drawn since the last battle. Because obviously, if he had an EPP, he would have put him down to
What's
kill
that?
Doctor E.
Games take 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what Gogol was saying, that you're pretty quick. Whether you win or lose is usually pretty quick.
Yeah, there's a joke there. We'll let that go.
We've had most games go pretty close to the end. At least, well, the last 2 kind of gave me with 10 minutes to spare, which is nice. But this one looks like it could go the distance. We'll see. So there is the EPP Qui-Gon. That is something I was worried about for Phil, is if there was an EPP Obi or Qui-Gon. You swing, bam, sliced.
That's gonna hurt.
Phil can try
And
to
the-
shoot at Ray, and he got her.
And
So
the
that
Gick is on
causes
top of the
2.
loss pile, so
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
this could be the end of this game. Phil could be
Potentially.
dropping him.
Potentially. Drew
And Phil was our other undefeated player, right?
There it is. Yeah, we just got a handshake there because Phil took game-ending overflow.
Yeah.
Because he
So
drew a
now
Kylo
there's
with
only
lightsaber.
one undefeated player left, and that would be Matthew J. Sokol.
All right, so we saw how that one ended with the beatdown there. Brian Mishke gets one on Phil. So now we only have one undefeated player left, Matt Sokol, as Chris just said. So this tournament is now getting pretty interesting. 5 games in. We've got games 6, 7, and 8. 3 more to go. And we'll get you some updated standings here in a few minutes. I think we probably have 10, 15 minutes left in this round. Yeah.
Looks like about 8 minutes on the clock.
8 minutes. Okay, cool.
Oh, and we had somebody drop.
Yeah, I believe Mike Irisman dropped last game.
He was 0-4, so I'm sure he probably just decided to pack it up and head home.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, I believe. And I think, yeah, he kind of just left without telling Hayes that he was dropping. He told Werfs, I guess, is what I heard. So yeah, Mike Irisman dropped after going 0-4. And then, so now we do have a bye, which we didn't have before. But I imagine we might get another drop at the end of this round. Who knows? Depending on how people are doing. So, all right. So we got the end of that game. Congrats to Brian for knocking off one of the undefeateds. And I'll go back inside, check out what's going on, and we'll get you guys some pairings for the next round as soon as we can.
Woohoo! Pairings.
Woohoo! Pairings, right? Oh, whoa. I'm going to change my message here.
Yeah. How are your frames doing?
I'm consistently dropping between 10 and 13%.
Do you want to try not screen sharing and just see if that improves it?
We can try that for this next one, yeah. If
Okay,
that
because half the time I have to wait for it to show up on Twitch anyway, because I can't, there's it's blurry on my
I
end.
do see that. It is pretty blurry. So, let's go ahead and see. How do I? Yeah, let's turn more screen share options. Stop sharing
Yeah, so
your
turn
screen.
that off a little bit. Perhaps
Turn that off.
will,
We'll just go with your voice, and then
yeah.
we'll see if that helps drop less frames. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on mute so we can take a quick break. I'll go in the game room and see what's going on, and we'll be back with you guys